Andy Brough, Executive Director at Schroder Investment Management. So let me just start by asking you what a combination with VT would mean for Babcock.
Well, I think if Babcock's been incredibly successful, and it's a company we've backed from early stages. Their takeover of VT Group, the acquisition of Devonport, they've done a great job. And they've now got to a stage where Vosper Thornycroft is in their sights. But this is a huge deal. I mean, the market cap of Babcock and Vosper Thornycroft are virtually the same. So it's not like going out and buying a 50 or 100 million pound acquisition. This is a huge deal. And the stock market kind of tells you when it wants more of your shares by pushing the price up. Babcock shares have got a high of 660 and they're currently 540. So the market's kind of telling you, well, actually, we're not quite sure we really want any more Babcock shares. And you're going to have to issue a lot of shares to consummate this deal. Now, if we read the press or whatever, it looks like Babcock won't go hostile. They want to actually have a look at VT's books. That's what they've said. So I don't think it's a hostile bid's going to work, because they want to actually have a look at all the contracts that are underneath.
But you're dead against this. I mean, you should declare you have a 10% holding in Babcock. You've also got, there's another protagonist in the room as well, VT Group wanting to take over Mouchel, which you have a 17% holding in too.
It's a bit like playing chess, isn't it? I'm trying to just get the pieces on the board to try and actually get the right result for my unit holders.
But just very quickly, just in a very short sentence, why are you against this? I mean, other people are saying that we need consolidation in the defence industry.
Well, because actually, I don't want to have a holding which has so much exposure to defence. I'd rather Babcock actually diversified into sort of other areas. There's no doubt that whoever wins the next election, defence spending is going to be in their sights. So actually having a sort of increasing exposure to that sort of sector, I don't think it's a great idea.
You mentioned the next election, obviously a great deal of uncertainty right now. If you look at the broader economic picture, fiscal problems in Greece, the concerns about that spreading out, of course, a general election in the UK. How is all this affecting your investment strategy?
Well, it's a very good question, actually. I seem to be spending more and more time in the pub trying to sort of figure it out. I think what it is that there's no doubt that the huge stimulus that we've seen right across the piece has actually kick-started certain sectors. You've seen Wolseley today come out with an unexpected trading statement. Things are slightly better. Pendragon, cars in the UK, these sort of companies are benefiting from the stimulus that the governments have put in. Now, the $64,000 question, or whichever currency you want to talk in, is what happens when this is actually taken away? Does the patient suddenly sort of lapse back into a coma, and we work out what to do? And I think that is the big problem, actually.
Yeah. So your view as to the macro picture is going to really depend on what you're going to actually have to buy stocks. What are you going to be buying as a result of that?
I think what you need to look for is you need to look for sort of top-line growth. I was sitting at home last night and kids were all playing on their sort of PlayStation 3s or whatever they are. No wires, So a big holding for me is CSR, Bluetooth technology, connectivity is the way it's going. And so, tech, I think, is probably going to come back more and more in focus because, just with the advances with the, iPod, iSlate, etc., you've got to try and find top-line growth. Now, going back to, the M&A activity will pick up this year as people look to consolidate, but top-line growth is going to be the key, I think.
Andy Brough, thanks so much for joining us.